If you look at the way that we've industrialized as a society, that's what we've chosen to do with our waste in large part, is put it into streams.
In 2014, Alabama was ranked as the 16th dirtiest state according to the American State Litter Scorecard.
Majority of the land area out here is paved over with concrete and asphalt and buildings' rooftops. And so instead of all the stormwater flowing through the woods and the forest and then slowly making it into a stream, it's really rushing off the developed areas out here rapidly with a ton of litter being carried along with it, and that's why we have such a terrible sight. And this is unfortunately really common for urban streams throughout the Birmingham area.
We use water in our everyday lives. Water in Alabama is very important, clean water specific. We love to boat and fish and play in the water. But also, most of the state of Alabama gets our drinking water from what we call surface water.
Here in Birmingham, in Jefferson County, the predominant watershed is the Black Warrior. It covers about 3/4 of Jefferson County. So much littering being done on area parking lots, roadsides. They throw their trash into the pickup truck bed and then it just whirls out when they're going down the road.
We've got to put more things in place to hold individuals accountable for littering, for dumping. Citing the harm that's caused by it, I think we have to really make sure that we're identifying, fining, make sure that this is being enforced and making sure that people are not littering.
Our Alabama Department of Transportation in 2021 spent almost $7.5 million to clean up trash on our roadways. That's $7.5 million of resources that could be spent on other projects, whether it's education, whether it's hunger, whatever it might be, but we are spending a great deal of money to clean up our mess.
Spending millions of dollars a year to have people go up and pick up trash and debris that was basically illegally left somewhere or just thrown out of the window. Those are dollars that be going into building community, building green space, roads, sidewalks, things that people want to see. I think that we have to understand and be honest with ourselves and probably do a better job of communicating to the public like what we spend in cleaning up behind people that won't abide by the law and just common decency.
So this is a problem that exists. We have to address and we have to spend money and resources on it when we really shouldn't have to.
To make an area look bad, it takes 1 to 5% of the population to do that. Everybody's not throwing trash out the window. Every 1 out of every 100 cars does, and you got a roadway that's gonna see 5,000 to 7,000 cars a day. You've got hundreds of things kind of thrown out by the time you get through the end of the week and throughout the months. And so, one, just educating everybody. Like some people truly don't think it's a big deal. They just think it's fine, somebody will come get it. And so once you explain it to them, they'll change their behavior. And then you have some people that know and don't care. And so that's where we have to really come in stronger with the enforcement. If we catch you littering, if we catch you dumping, I think that fine has been increased past $1,000. We're moving towards now litter cameras, and so you'll see those popping up more to try to catch more littering, more dumping, because we got to enforce it and we have to put ourselves in the best position to know who's doing it so we can effectively enforce it.
I was the river keeper before I was a lawyer. And just through the work that I did as the river keeper, it became apparent that in order to meaningfully address a lot of the issues that we see, we had to be more aggressive. We hold people in Alabama accountable to the Clean Water Act, and fortunately in our state, a lot of environmental laws are not routinely enforced, and so my role is to make sure that the agencies that are tasked with enforcing those laws are doing their job.
There's kind of a three-pronged task. Educate the public about why it's important to not litter and to properly recycle and dispose of trash that will go to the landfill. To help people understand why, where all that goes. It flows off the land with rain and into our local streams and waterways. And then how we can just get people to take a little bit more time, maybe carry a bag around in their car and not throw it out and just keep it until they get near a trash can, and then get out if they want to lend a hand and help out with manual cleanups and get litter out of areas that are really bad like this. And then taking it up a notch to municipal level, big business stuff, we can fund these really neat litter gitters and other trash collection devices to gather this stuff once it's already made it into the waterway, ultimately trying to protect everything that's downstream.
Freshwater Land Trust was really founded as a land conservation organization to protect land on the Black Warrior and Cahaba River watersheds. So obviously water quality has been and continues to be a big part of our organization's mission. We are at the conclusion of a 3-year EPA grant for Project Litter Getter.
People think that stormwater is treated at the parking lot level, and it's not. We really have to work on water quality. Just because the water's clear doesn't mean it's clean. But when you can't get past the litter, it's hard to even get to that. We look at a place like this and we see a good bit of litter today. Well, what you gotta realize, this half-an-acre area is a concentrated flow for maybe a couple of 100 acres. So essentially our system is a floating basket at the deepest point of the boom system with 2 booms, really to herd floating litter into the trap. And we mainly are designed for single-use plastic size. And so we anchor up above, we use fence posts, sometimes we use trees to anchor. And so it's a passive system, and when the water's moving, the litter's moving, and that's when we can collect it.
So one of the things I love about Litter Getter is that it's actually stopping a lot of the litter from getting into our rivers and streams. When they're in the rivers and streams, they're not only clogging up things, fish are exposed to that, plastics break down and you have microplastics which affect our different critters, everything from fish to snails to mussels. Not only is it unsightly, one of the things that we think is important is that we need people to get out onto our rivers and streams and enjoy them and see the beauty. And if the creek you show up is filled with litter, then that makes it not quite as enjoyable.
You know, we're here at McAllen Park, which I spent a lot of time on the Cahaba River and noticed all the trash and what a tremendous problem it was. And so from that, I started to volunteer, and that's how I got involved with Riverkeeper. And here at this park, the litter getter is really important for all the people that use this park to understand, you know, how hard we're working to address this huge, huge problem, not just in our watershed, but for every watershed downstream of us, all the way to the Gulf.
This project is through the Gulf of Mexico program with EPA. You know, litter in Birmingham is going to the Gulf of Mexico at some point or another. And we think that's a critical part of the education piece. We grew up that every ditch was your entry into nature. And I think we've lost that connection from our food source to our enjoyment to nature and our role in it. So by working in urban waters, we want those local kids to be able to come down here and see the turtles in the water, see the wood ducks nesting in their babies.
Well, we're in a pretty important place. In particular, the Little Cahaba, it's such a great outdoor classroom, and we have it right here.
This area is protected by Birmingham Waterworks because we drink this water. We play in this water. We swim in this water.
What's the most dangerous species out here?
Oh, you ready? Me.
I want to catch it. That's it.
Oh, that's a fish. That's a darter.
I feel that it's important to address environmental issues with youth of any age because they're going to be our future leaders. Not only are they going to decide in the future if this area should be destroyed or introduced with pollutants, it's having that sense of appreciation of what's beautiful and what's in your backyard. So you'll take care of it in the long run.
I want to be able to look out into a river and not see a beer can. I want to see fish thriving.
It's important that we walk in the line because if we start traveling down the river, just walking amongst ourselves, we will scare more fish further down.
So we brought creative writers and visual artists out here to the Cahaba River. They're doing the stream walk. Behind me, I can hear them walking up the river. They've been catching fish, and we're going to instruct them to reflect on what they've seen and try to incorporate some of the beautiful scenery and imagery into their writing and art. It's always important for anyone to understand their role in the larger ecosystem, but I think for these students especially, since they are the next generation who will help to perhaps save this place, it's important for them to interact with it now and begin to appreciate it, not be afraid of it, and understand the importance of all the things that are out here.
Holding the net. Flip it over, let it go.
I wasn't ready for the
There's so many times I bring kids out and they're like, I've never skipped a rock. I've never touched a tree. I've never stood in the river and felt the sun on my face. And I think that's a big shame because we grew up, we evolved so closely connected with this place. And I feel like the more advancements in maybe technology in life, we get farther and farther from the truth of the matter, which is the outdoors, about conservation, about environmentalism. It seems to be a dying art. It seems to be people don't care about it as much. And that's terrible because these are the natural answers to a lot of society's problems. Pollution, flooding, all of these things can be answered by just knowing more about what's going on around you.
When trash is a problem here, but what we're trying to do is change the culture, change the way people think about trash. Other than the trash, this is a pretty beautiful location. We want to have all our creeks and streams in Birmingham to be used as a resource and not a liability.
And we started the cleanups in 2006. And this is not something that you just do once and it's done. It's ongoing. You can't stop because of the climate change and everything is changing in the atmosphere now. So we'll have to save our world, our earth, our dirt, our grounds, our water. We're here to help one another. Thank you everybody for coming out.
Since December 2019 through December 2022, we have collected through the 12 litter getters over 20,000 pounds of trash from our local waterways in just a 3-year period. That's the weight of 5 cars, 1.5 million styrofoam cups. So again, that just shows you how much trash has been collected from our waterways based on those figures. And about 20% of that has been recycled. We certainly try to recycle as much as possible.
I think we're leading the charge. I've got text from this weekend. We did the Alabama Coastal Cleanup in Mobile, and literally people that were just out picking up litter have been doing this for 20 years. The person that coordinated that site saying we're having a hard time finding the litter we used to find.
So we hope that through Project Litter Getter, not only have we removed some of the trash from our beautiful special place, but that we encourage people not only not to litter or to pick up someone else's trash if they see it. We're one of the top 5 most biodiverse states in the country. So we have more threatened and endangered species than almost anywhere else in the country. A lot of people have referred to our state as the Amazon of the Americas. Again, we live in a very special place, and it is only further enhanced if you're doing it in an environment where you don't see litter around you. I want to go outside, I want to enjoy it, I want to go there, I want to live there. It's beautiful and it's clean, and I feel safe getting in the water, drinking the water, and exploring the great outdoors here.